The next thing that we will learn about from the West region is landmarks that are in the West region. From last section, we learned about different regions that were in the Southwest, like the dam, Hoover Dam, that's in Nevada, or the other monuments that we learned about as well. Landmarks are important pieces. They can be man-made, such as a monument, like the Washington Monument, or other things like the Hoover Dam, which was man-made and made for helping with irrigation of the land and power that can power things. They can also be historical landmarks that remind us of different events, people, or cultural backgrounds. This includes learning about the Mayan ruins that we learned about from the last section, or other places such as memorials for people that have died. There are many landmarks in the 11 states of the West region, and many different landmarks that can be incredibly important. Landmarks are very cool because they're part of history. They're history that shows us where we've been and where we're going, and allows us to remember the different things we learned. The first landmark that we learned about in the West region is the Old Faithful, which is in Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. Old Faithful is a glacier, and what a glacier is a spring that shoots hot water and steam up from the ground. So if you were to imagine going on a sprinkler or a water spout that you see at a pool, imagine when that water shoots straight up into the air. This is what a glacier is. But imagine that water shooting up but being incredibly hot, like if you're taking a hot bath times two, and imagine that water being very, very fast. So it's almost, as a glacier shoots water from the ground, it's almost like a gun is being shot out from a water gun. So can you imagine the force if you've ever shot a water gun and it happens to hit you at close range? It sometimes hurt. So this glacier is like a water gun coming straight up from the ground and just exploding into the air. And it erupts every 65 minutes with an air. And what the air means is they can't accurately predict an exact time when this glacier will come because it's a natural resource and natural land area, so you're not going to protect it. So with a margin of 10 minutes, so 10 minutes before, so 75 minutes, or 10 minutes after with 55 minutes, this 55 to 75 minute range is when it will erupt, and it lasts less than 2 minutes, about 2.5 minutes of it just squirting side up. So you can imagine shooting a squirt gun for 2 straight minutes, and that's what the glacier does. It shoots boiling water up in an air of 185 feet. And 185 feet is just a little below the power tower at Valley Fair. So if you can imagine how tall and big the power tower is at Valley Fair, this is how big the glacier scoots up air every 75 minutes. So imagine a squirt gun shooting 195 feet in the air. That's very high, and that's a lot of water. The next we're going to learn about is the Golden Gate Bridge, which is a suspension bridge located in Northern California. What a suspension bridge is it has cords running down from the tops of the building. So if you imagine like this, it just comes straight down, and what these do, it allows them to sway back and forth. Most bridges are built underneath with the concrete pillars coming down under, so it's just a sturdy thing. But with the winds in California and it being over water, it causes it to sway a little bit. So if you're going over on the Golden Gate Bridge, it might be scary to go on there because you can imagine this bridge just swaying back and forth. But it's actually for its protection and your protection because it allows movement to run. Another reason why it's allowed to shift is there's a lot of earthquakes in California. And an earthquake is when there's different shifts in the Earth's plates underneath the Earth's surface. And these plates start to shift, which causes the earth to move. And when the earthquakes happen, obviously in California, it causes big movements to happen. And this causes the whole state of California to shake. And if the suspension bridge wasn't up here with the strings, allowing it to shift back and forth, there wouldn't be any way, and the bridge would be destroyed in big earthquakes, which won't be good because it costs a lot of money to remake bridges and rebuild bridges. And it could also hurt people, and with it being over a body of water, it could hurt animals as well. So they make these suspension bridges so that it can help with moving back and forth through earthquakes and winds. And it also lets, the design is cool because it lets a bridge flex. So the bridge can flex up or down instead of just breaking during an earthquake. It also is recognizable and called the Golden Gate Bridge because it has this orange goldy coloring throughout the bridge. And this is because San Francisco is a very foggy city, and fog can cause people to not drive well.